Ansi, mio kisipayao. Hello, how are you? It's a good morning. This is what those words mean in Cree. And I would like to know, how are you doing? Is it a good morning? Or maybe evening by the time you tune into this? I was sitting here thinking, what do I have to offer today? I woke up feeling, and the last few days, fairly deflated and feeling a bit lower in nature than maybe what is my usual, my norm. Having days where I just feel a little bit down, or I feel energetically tired, or emotional, or just feel like I'm carrying some kind of baggage. And I've been noticing that this has been happening more with the quarantine going on. And I'm just curious what your experience has been like with the quarantine, extending day by day by day. We're in this new world. We are alone more, some of us with more solitude than others if you're not living with, loved ones or something like that. But we're all isolated in a whole different way. And I've noticed it comes in waves. Like there are moments where I really have complete acceptance of what I'm experiencing and even really enjoy it, and I can celebrate it for the gifts that it's bringing. And then I have times where I feel like deeply agitated and like sad, or just kind of what we call cabin fever up north. If you've ever lived in a place where you have winter for more time than you have summer, we call it cabin fever. I've been feeling things like that. And then I've been wondering how this experience of the lack of connection and physical touch, whether it's from, hugging friends or dancing with people, hugging people in passing when you see them at the studio or at a grocery store or whatever it is, like this attachment, this healthy attachment that we have has been ruptured. And it makes me wonder, the deeper psychological effects of that. And I'm just being very curious as I watch myself through this experience. So I've had some days that feel a little heavier, and then I have days that I feel fresh and I feel wonderful, and especially after I do my practice. It's really important to have some kind of practice to move the energy through your body. Because the truth is that we are sensitive beings, spiritual beings having a physical human experience, more than physical, as we know, physical, emotional, mental. We have the whole thing. And as the earth changes, this is the thing, we're so connected to the earth, we are of the earth. As the earth changes and the frequency, the vibration of the earth changes, it filters through our systems. We're like little channels, we're little filtering organisms kind of on the earth. And any kind of energetic wave that goes through the earth, it goes through all of us. And we feel it to differing levels and experiences. If you are someone who is, you're conscious of the fact that you feel energy, and you can notice the ebbing and the flowing of energy on earth, then you might have maybe a little bit of an easier time navigating that. Not necessarily, but maybe. And then there are people who are maybe a little bit less conscious that we are connected to all of creation and that we are in a process of transformation right now. So wherever you are on the spectrum, it's fine. I know that for me, I feel like the things that I'm carrying personally, the stories that I'm carrying, the physical experiences I've had, like that are somatic, the emotions that I'm carrying, the thought forms, they are right now being magnified. So I'm seeing them and I'm feeling them at a much deeper level than I maybe ever have. I'm wondering if you guys are having a similar experience. And so our work right now, if you're walking, in a similar way to me, our work right now is to work with the subtle energies and to remember that we have some say, or we have some control, or we have the ability to transmute these energies. And transmutation is like moving energy from a lower place to maybe a higher place, or from like density to lightness. And not to say that one is better than the other. That's the thing about being human, is it's about learning to hold it all in the basket, giving the same respect to the challenging aspects of our experience as we do to the ones that we might label as welcome or easy, or they feel really good. Seeing if we can approach our life experience with an equanimous mind. So myself, I've been doing a lot more personal practice, from asana to meditation to breath work, that's been helping me to move these dense energies as they come up, to move them through my body, to move them into my heart, and to process them, to integrate, to become an integrated being in myself. And I believe that this is what's happening around the earth, is we're moving, the paradigm we're shifting towards is one where we are more integrated with our physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual nature, and with nature itself, the earth itself. So with that, I thought that I would share a little meditation today, if you want to sink in with me. So let's set the space. Do what you like to do to create your sacred space. So I have a candle in front of me. I'm going to light that. I generally like to light candles before I practice. And I have a little smudge here, so I'm going to take a moment to light my smudge and say a little prayer. And I find that lighting a candle or lighting some medicine, it's like it creates a little doorway, a little opening, so I can drop into myself and into my practice and into a multi-dimensional space. This is what these help me with. And our plants, these medicines, they're helpers. They're alive. The earth is alive. And we can form relationships with them and ask them for help. Anytime I light this medicine, I say thank you to the medicine, and I ask it for help, because it is an intelligent being that can help me find the intelligence of my being and come into harmony with the whole medicine wheel. So if you do work with plants and if you don't have a smudging practice, that's okay. Maybe you even have like a beloved plant in your home and you could bring it into your space and ask it for help. You know, we're such creative, intelligent beings that learning to open up the pathways of communication and asking the earth to communicate with us, that already is, that's already a step in the right direction. So whatever your way of setting up your space, and then we're going to take a seat and find some comfort under your sits bones. Now feel the sits bones ground down and connect with what we call gravity. Now imagine that you have not heard of the concept of gravity, but you are experiencing it. Notice what it feels like to drop your body into that feeling that we know to be gravity. How does it feel in your body? Now from that foundation, connection to gravity and earth, maybe the spine can find a little bit more space to lift up towards the sky, and the heart can open physically and energetically, and then the shoulders can create a bit more space across your collarbones. Now, draw your pelvic floor upwards. So that's the perineum, the muscles of the perineum. You're going to draw them up. And then you're going to feel a little hugging of the belly button towards the spine. And as you do, notice how the spine might come into a bit more alignment. It gets a little taller. Invite the heart to stay open and up, and then humble your brain towards your heart. Now begin to curiously explore your physical experience right now, how you're feeling physically in your body. And then expand that to your emotional body. Okay, notice if there are any areas or layers that are sort of contracted or gripping. Maybe you can even put a name to what you're experiencing. So you've been experiencing any kind of insecurities, judgments of self or others, anxiety, depression, sadness, anything that has like a contracting type of sensation or feeling tone. Now expand your awareness to your mental body and explore your thought forms. So maybe you're aware that there are certain thoughts that have been circulating through your mind for the past few days or weeks or months or years. These patterns, these conditioned ways of being that create, again, like a contraction or a sense that you're sort of being weighed down by them. Okay? And then notice how the physical, the emotional, and the mental, they're all interwoven. They sort of dance together. So just notice what's bubbling up to the surface here as you scan and observe and feel. And maybe you begin to find a smooth rhythmic breath while you're doing that. Now, any of these things that we're experiencing that have this contractive sort of nature or this being weighted down by it, they could be seen as some form of fear. Now, first of all, what do we do with these things that feel heavy and feel uncomfortable or maybe confusing, like you're not quite sure what to do with it? Well, first we acknowledge that it is what we're feeling. It is what we're experiencing. Kind of like saying, oh, hi, I see you there. Okay, this is what's going on. Like as gentle as you can and accepting of what it is that you're dealing with, that you're carrying. Okay, now as you tune into that thing, and then acknowledge that it's here, and it's okay that it's here, then ask yourself, what is it that I am fearing? What is it that I'm fearing from this this story or this sensation, this thought, this projection, whatever it is, now imagine what it would feel like if there was no fear. What would you do if there was no fear around this thing, this experience? You kind of have to tap into your ability to imagine like a child. There's nothing but infinite possibility beyond that fear. So what would it feel like if there was no fear around this experience? And allow that sensation, maybe it's something you can see in your mind's eye or something that you feel in your body or your emotions. Allow that feeling and that knowing to expand. Like you're blowing it up into 5D. Now, just see if you can find gratitude or a thank you. Honor this experience that you're having, this aspect of yourself that is maybe a little hard to walk with. Honor it for showing you where there is possibility and freedom beyond the fear. Because these little aspects of ourselves, these fears, they are like a lighthouse to our very freedom, to our own self-realization. They're little messengers, they're helpers, and they're important aspects of our experience. And the more we are able to accept and acknowledge these, maybe if we call them darker or challenging parts of ourselves, we can then understand the suffering of another being. It helps us grow our empathy and our compassion. So let's find, even if it's just a very small feeling of gratitude for these places that we might be housing some fear. And knowing that we are more than that fear, much more. And now imagine that as the world, as the earth transforms, we transform with it. We transform with it. We are walking on the earth, but with the earth and the vibrational state of it. Imagine that you are like a hollow bone, and anything that feels heavy and dense that comes to visit you, you can sit with it and be with it and honor it and acknowledge it, and then allow it to pass through to show you your own light and your own love, which is alchemy. And if you would like to, you can bring hands to the heart in any meaningful way, or place your hands wherever it feels authentic to you right now. And then when you feel ready, you can blink your eyes open. And just be with whatever it is that you're feeling. If you notice a shift in your perception, in your reality. And may we learn to walk each day knowing that we are like a quilt. We are an interwoven, multicolored, multi-sensational, multi-dimensional being, able to carry what's heavy for a long time and able to surrender it and become light again. So thank you for doing your work, whatever your spiritual work is, whatever the stones or the boulders that you're lifting and carrying these days, know that it is with purpose. And every one of us that does our work helps to lift up all of creation. So take really good care of yourself. I'm sending you lots of love and gratitude for walking with me. And I will see you again sometime soon, online and hopefully in person. Bye for now.